Intentionally opaque to us was being purposefully hidden or purposefully mask a lot of our internal struggles that not everyone sees on the outside.
My name is Virgil. I'm the coordinator of Making a Meaning, SCI-Arc faculty.
My name is Majeda Alhinai. I'm an artist, architect, and designer. We started our design collaborative, Brush Collective, around, I would say, 2016. We've been working on projects of multiple scales, a lot that deals with concepts that you see in the art world more than we see in architecture.
Each project starts with an idea. The project deals with our views of ourselves as designers. We started the project by thinking what we wanted to do in this space, giving the gallery an identity that it was recognizable to everyone. It doesn't matter what language you speak, it doesn't matter where you come from, you understand what a puzzle is.
So the puzzle to us was a metaphor of us as human beings being part of a collective, which is society. We also wanted to make this point that you do not need to be part of a collective to be complete on your own. So each of the puzzle pieces have their own topography. No two are alike, and it comes together to create a whole.
So we wanted to create this narrative about the idea of mindfulness and self-reflection that was understood through the puzzle. When we decide to come together, we can do great things.
We actually have multiple journeys throughout the gallery space. The first journey is the actual exhibition design, which we curated as we were producing all of the parts and the pieces. And then the second journey is actually the journey through the Labyrinth itself. There's also a third journey, which includes an AR component.
How do you get somebody to stay engaged? We're gonna get them with the structure. And one of the interesting surprises that we found is by using the puzzle system, everything was just freestanding. We had 2 cables at the top. That was it.
The first overall exhibition design curation that we decided on was to tell the story of sense of self, understanding, our ego, our emotion.
There was all these emotions that we wanted to compose and freeze frame on each of the individual white pieces that were on the wall.
So we had a very specific vision of how we wanted visitors to enter the space. We create a path with this red thread that moves throughout the outside of the gallery until the center of the labyrinth.
When you begin the journey through the labyrinth, you're all tangled. And the idea is that you go through this journey through the center and you find something. And in the case of our gallery, you're supposed to find yourself.
We had a centerpiece that kind of spoke to this idea of the journey and understanding kind of the reflection, the man in the mirror. And that piece also kept people for a generous amount of time in the center of the gallery itself.
We can also get other people to be scanning the pieces on the wall. There's this back and forward between what you're looking through your phone versus what's there standing. We work with a friend of ours, Kellen Carledge and Lori Summers. Through collaboration, we were able to develop an app that helped us tell the story and what was happening in the gallery. The idea was to create this seamless connection of people interacting with the piece, taking pictures, at the same time scanning something, looking at the work through the AR.
When it comes to a project like this, when we have a sculptural installation, we had a lot of hands working with us, working with the actual physical piece itself.
We're only able to see it through fruition through collaborating with others and being open to take feedback and at the same time adjust our way of thinking.
I mean, I would say the challenges really came forward once we had to deal with the actual physical making. A lot of the challenges were kind of hidden through the guise of like the digital frame, is that we were just seeing this through a screen.
And in digital space, the work, it's easy, it looks this right there.
But then once we actually came to making it, we went through a lot of edits even through the fabrication.
The sculptural piece that was composed out of puzzle pieces, that was designed at least 7 times.
Luckily, we had a lot of amazing hands working with us.
Our 2 collaborators, Christoph and Felix, they were like, okay, this is too thin. And Majeda was like, okay, this is bulging out too much. And once we did the test at a smaller scale, I understood that I was wrong.
We learned a lot through working with that material, working at that scale, working with a team that would help us through multiple stages. We now understand the work that goes into producing something like this.
So I think that being open, you need to leave room for mistakes, and that things are not set the way that you start and you say, like, I'm gonna do this way. There's always something that will need to get adjusted. The vision doesn't need to get compromised as long as you're able to adapt. Big thing about the gallery, it was the afterlife of it.
We all think about the life cycle of a piece of art, or not many people really do think about the life cycle of like a structure or a sculptural piece like this.
What could we do so that the piece itself becomes a work of art and not trash? So we created this event called Art, Not Trash.
An idea for an event that we distribute or hand out these puzzle pieces as pieces of art.
The hope is that this will give a longer lifespan to the gallery. That, I don't know, maybe 20 years from now, everybody that got a piece decides to come together and maybe they can build a section of it. Maybe.
We're really grateful to be able to produce a piece that was as freeing as this. I think it was freeing for us as well as artists, as creators that would like our work to have a sense of identity and a sense of, understanding who we are and what is important to us in, the realm of architecture. We don't get to talk about these things. We don't get to kind of explore this idea of the sense of self, this idea of mindfulness. It's not as important. We learned a lot of things through the actual making, but also we learned about ourselves and what type of work that we want to put out into the world.